I'm making a review of my trade on Thursday, uh, April 14th. Today is the 20th, but I'm recording this days later. I got a few trades I got to record, but I want to get this one out of the way. This was a bad trade on my behalf because not and before I even go into the where I traded this, as you can see, this was a bad trade. Um, IB, it's $1 per 100 shares or so, and when you trade stock under $1, it becomes more expensive because it's 100. The stock under 100 $1, you gotta buy like a whole bunch of shares for $1 each. It just becomes more expensive when you do the math. And I always told myself not to trade stocks um, under $1. And even today, I traded this stock and it was under um, $1. Uh, and the stock before that. So I paid a hefty commission fee, and that's my fault. So I also decided I'm gonna switch to E-Trade, but still use IB platform until I become more accustomed to E-Trade and its platform. Um, but um, I ended up paying $150 in commissions and taking roughly a $287 loss on this trade, simply because I paid so much in commission, so I had to make so much more just to break even. And then, the trade didn't go my way. Um, not only that, a major factor, I was down way more than originally. I think I was down like 1,000. I think I was down 1,200 on this trade. I broke my rules. Um, I got into this stock. Let me see here. Um, the float was ranging from, what was the lowest? 32 million to a high of 157 million. That's the range. Most likely is this one right here. I don't think they did any split in the yearly chart, no. So that's most likely 100 and something million shares available to trade on just the float, which is bad. And then the the news was that they had a an agreement to purchase a 5G license um, with some company, um, and Sykes was talking about it and laughing about it. I think it was during the all day trading, or no, it was his birthday. It was his birthday, and he said something. Oh, it was the day before his birthday, and I think he was doing a live trading um, video or webinar. And as you can see here, the outstanding is 162. The flow is 53 million, but um, going here, I'm looking at this range. I go off of range now because I mean you have to go off the range because there's no accurate amount. Once they start dumping, the number immediately change. From what I remember, I don't remember what I saw in the SEC filings, but you see 6Ks. I forgot what 6Ks mean, but I think it's another form of a 10Q or 10K. One or the other, I just don't remember, or it's another form of the 8K. But um, going into this trade, uh, um, I made my first mistake by going into a stock that's under a penny. My commissions was way higher. My next mistake was getting in what pre-market. I've been having this bad habit. Well, I won't say bad habit. I've been having this habit of going into pre-market. The only time I go into pre-market is when the float is low, Like when the range right here is saying, oh, um, um, under 5 million, that's the range, uh, or less. And then if I look in the SEC filings and I don't see, it doesn't look too bad to me. This is clearly a foreign company, so you don't want to trade foreign stocks. And not only that, when they have a 6K instead of a 10Q or 10K, that's a foreign company, which you don't want to be going into a foreign company because foreign companies don't have to follow the rules of a as much rules as a U.S. company, so they can dump and do whatever they want. Not only that, they can probably dump way more or do whatever they want. But not only that, I didn't even realize that until now. But another thing too is that you know I want to always see that there's good. There's no dilution or there's no um, signs of dilution. Even though there may not be any signs of dilution, there still can be. So I made that mistake of getting into a low price stock, um, high flow, um, foreign company, and the list goes on. But and dilution, and um, as you can see here, um, I got in with the bulk of my shares at uh, 24 cents for 30,000. So that was $75 in commissions in total commissions, and then I got in with another 300, which wasn't really much. But see, the next mistake is I got into pre-market without like the rules of my pre-market entries. Then the strategy that I'm playing is not low float because this is not a low float. The strategy that I'm playing is um, trading a 945 dip and rip. And as you can see right here, roughly around 945, the stock dips and gives me this nice and beautiful uptrend. And I could have made $1,000 on this trade. If I were to have gotten in exactly at 945, then uh, it wouldn't have worked out for me because it ends up falling off later. And let me zoom in. Um, yeah, it ends up not working out later. But you got to be disciplined to cut the loss. Then it's not exactly at 9:45. It's 9:45, around 9:45. So it can happen a little earlier. It can happen a little after. It can even happen at 10 o'clock. Even if I waited till 10 o'clock, it still would have been a great trade. Then by 10 o'clock, it should start forming a possible uptrend. By 9:15, it should have ran. If not, then you should be getting out. And that's where I made my mistake. I should have gotten here around either before 9:40 at 9:45 or around here when I saw that it started uptrending. Um, I was down probably 1,200 in this trade, and let's do the math here. And this is where I need to improve. Like, not only do I need to, I have to, I must. I can, I will, and I must improve. Just like Thomas say. But I was in at 24 cents roughly. Um, point 24, point 24 minus point 2020. That's that can't be right. Point 24 minus point 2020. Oh, it is right. I'm tripping. So times I had 30,300 shares. I was down almost $1,200 in this trade. Um, and I was just devastated. I was like, yo, you put yourself back in this situation, not because the trade wasn't right, but you failed to follow rules. Um, and it started uptrending. I saw that it was holding this support because once it broke here, I was like, I'm ready to get out. I just made a dumb decision. But when I gave it some time, because I was like, I gotta figure something out. I gotta try to like clear my mind and think this through. Think this losing trade through, not through emotions and being undisciplined, but through okay, what can this stock now offer, or what could possibly happen? And I said, okay, it's past 9:45. It's not 10 o'clock yet. Um, give it some time. Then when it hit 10 o'clock, I'm like, okay, the latest is 10:15, and it's holding at 10 o'clock. It's holding this support. This is the lowest point. This is where the strategy starts to happen. So I said, okay, let's see if the strategy is gonna perform. I went in too early. Now here's the time when the strategy should. Here's the range where. Here's a time frame that the strategy should start performing. Let's see what happens. And it started uptrending little by little. I said, okay, I'm just gonna let it ride, see what can happen. It broke this point right here where it panicked um, at 22.29 at the highest point. And I just let it ride and it pulled back. And I was ranging from, losing. I was like ranging from a point where I was like losing 200, gaining back. I was gaining 200, losing back 200, gaining 200. And I was just like trying to think this through. And it just kept uptrending, and I'm trying to figure out a point to sell. And at somewhere here, I was damn near break even or in profits. Um, like right here at this top point, I was break even or just a little bit in profits. And I'm like, okay, let's see if it can break high today. If not, I gotta get out. And it didn't break high today. Uh, um, it was just uptrending little by little by little. And I don't know what made me get out, but I think when it broke this point, I was like, okay, I gotta get out, or this point. It was something like that. I was like, all right, I gotta get out. It's not working my way. This is a perfect. This is a perfect exit. The perfect loss. Perfect everything. Well, not perfect, but good loss to take. The price is right. I can take this loss and move on. Um, and that's what I did. I ended up having a small panic down. Um, but I was done with it at that point. I doubt I even watched it. And after that small panic down, it pushed up. It went, excuse me, excuse me. Um, back to the top, damn near this resistance point, just 0.0006, and it failed. But I was already up by then, and I didn't want to stay in for a dump, and that's why I got out here, and I'm glad that I got out here instead of getting having to ride this dump and it bounced. But overall, it was a great opportunity. Horrible performance on my behalf because I'm trading, even if it was the lowest point of this flow that it stated being at 32. Still, uh, still like not that flow is just way too high. And even if like I trust Yahoo Finance the most because I've been with Yahoo Finance the most. Not saying that it's accurate. I think Wall Street Journals is more accurate than all of them, but I'm not sure. Wall Street Journals, people follow Wall Street Journals more than any of these companies here. But even if I went with the lowest range, this flow is way too high, and I wasn't able to do my research on the 10K or anything if they were doing dilution because I didn't understand. There was nothing to show, and I forgot that 6Ks meant something. And uh, if you can't do your research, and here's a 424B from a year ago. I don't know if it's been used, but you can look at the yearly chart as well and tell that if it's been used. So the date on it was, and I learned this from Wolf, but the date was May. All right, so it was May right here. No, right here. So this point right here, you can clearly see it's been dumped, uptrend, dump, and just so on and so forth. So I should already know that once I get into this trade, what do you expect? Look for the 945 dip and ride the quick trend and get out because you know they're gonna dump it. But my lack of discipline is preventing me from doing that, and I just got to keep working on it. And this stock ended up just dumping some more. Glad that I didn't hold and hope, because this following week, that's exactly what I did was hold and hope. I didn't follow my rules, and the stock just did its thing, but it ended up doing this and bouncing right back the next day, which is not something I want to be holding. I don't care if it bounces back. But then eventually I kept going even more. But I'm not holding and hoping. I don't want to play these trades where I hold and hope that it gives me what I'm looking for. Because this following week I traded a stock, and I'm going to get into that on my next video. But I traded a stock, and um, I got in. Uh, don't remember if it was a low float or not, but I got in. I didn't even look at the float. That's the thing. Um, and I didn't realize it was the volume and everything because I'm not accustomed to trading these low price stocks. When you look at the volume, you got to divide it by 10 when it's under a penny compared to a stock that's at a 5 or 4 or $1 or whatever. And didn't realize it was a illiquid stock and got stuck. And had to deal with slippage and just had to finesse it all the way till I got out. But all in all, this was a bad trade, but great opportunity to trade this stock. Um, I just need to be more disciplined. But that's all I got to say. I still need to improve. Um, my next things is now to just go. Once I'm done with classes, I need to study Rolling Wolf's DVD and his strategies and patterns. Um, and then I need to keep reading the articles and eventually get into SECs following. But that's it for now.